Tonight we are delighted to have among our guests families of Cochlear Implant recipients who join us to celebrate Professor Clark's 80th birthday. It is my pleasure now to invite two beneficiaries of Professor Clark's hard work to say a few words. I would like to invite to the stage Mrs. Sian Neame, whose daughter Sian was 2.5 years at 2.5 years of age, was the youngest recipient to receive a cochlear implant in March 1990, and Professor Jenny Brand-Miller, a glycaemic index pioneer at the University of Sydney.
Thank you, everyone. I'm here tonight because my daughter Sian wasn't able to attend. She really sends her apologies and was very disappointed that she couldn't be here to share Graeme's 80th birthday with him. So I'm about to read her speech. I was diagnosed with a bilateral, profound sensory neural hearing loss when I was 18 months old. Medical experts varied widely in what they thought was possible. One who said there was no chance of me ever learning to talk and that signing was the only option. To the other extreme were those who felt that with a lot of hard work and intense early intervention, maybe I would learn to talk. After much research and ethics clearance, I received my first bionic ear in 1990 when I was 2.5 years old. This meant that I was the first prelingually deaf child in the world to have an implant. In March earlier this year, I celebrated 25 years of having hearing. This would not have been possible without Professor Clark's vision of helping the deaf to hear. Because I came from a hearing family, my parents believed that learning to talk would make me more involved in our family life. And in the long term, this seemed the only way to be able to navigate between the hearing and deaf worlds. Having the bionic ear meant that I was able to be enrolled in a mainstream school that had a hearing impaired campus. I was able to mix and be involved with both my hearing and my hearing impaired peers. When I was 19, there was an opportunity to get a second implant, and I jumped at the chance, so that implant was for my other ear. Having the two implants has greatly improved my hearing experiences. Listening isn't as tiring as it was, and I gain more information and directionality, and I can manage much better with background noise. My story was only the beginning. This has led to so many children being born deaf who can now hear and speak. They have the world at their feet and have unlimited opportunities just as I have had. This has meant that I was able to complete my honours degree in interior design and to work full-time in my chosen field. This is a far cry from my parents' concern about my future. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Professor Graeme Clark, I am so honoured to be here tonight and very, very grateful. My story begins as a teenager, and I noticed that I couldn't hear the things that my friends could hear. And then at the age of 25, I started my first real job with 2 powerful hearing aids. At the age of 36, one ear went completely deaf, and I spent the next 10 years feeling constantly humiliated by not being able to hear what people said. And then a miracle of sorts occurred. I received my first cochlear implant in the ear that had gone deaf. And within 6 to 12 months, I could talk on the telephone. I could listen to the radio in the car. I could have a conversation in the car, even in the dark. And I could repeat the exact price of the gold and silver and the copper and the nickel. And I could accept invitations to give keynote presentations at large international conferences. So my life did a complete about-face. And now, with 2 cochlear implants, I go to noisy restaurants like tonight, and I actually enjoy the conversation. Sometimes I hear a comment that my normal hearing friends and colleagues don't hear. And as I age, I have something that most people don't have. I have a quiet reassurance that my hearing will always be good. And as I age, I can expect my vision to fail, and my heart and my kidneys and my beta cells and my brain, which is already beginning to deteriorate, but not my hearing. And I have Professor Graeme Clark to thank for all that. But how do you thank someone who's given you back something unbelievably precious, which is this ability to have a spoken conversation with someone you love that makes us human? So it gives us our personality, it gives us our unique ability to be ourselves. So honestly, when I try to say thank you to Graeme Clark, words always fail me. So I could say thank you 1,000 times and it would not suffice. Thank you tonight.